Cowboys season ended, Dallas safety Barry Church, he spoke highly about the quarterback recently. Take a listen.
I would say go get him. I mean, he's a heck of a competitor, ultimate leader, and I mean, he can only help any team out there. I mean, other than what, New England, other than that, I mean, but he can pretty much help, pretty much every team. So, I mean, if that was me, they asked me, I'd say, yeah, go get him.
All right, so that is his safety's opinion. Rob Parker is still here with us, but Chris, let me start with you. Are you buying Church's praise?
First of all, I had to get my researcher to do a background check. Who is Barry Church? Like, I thought he was a new guy with Pro Football Focus or something. Because I just get a little disturbed by current players and how they analyze either their teammates or guys around the league. And my experience has been, I know their information is very, very limited. And if it's one of their teammates, I know it's very, very slanted in their teammates' favor. Oh, man, he looked great in scout team. Well, really? Well, there wasn't no rush. All right? There wasn't no pressure on him. All right? So don't be trying to tell me, Tony Romo, because that's the second time that I heard about a guy looking good in practice from someone in Dallas. You know who said that the first time? Jerry Jones. Oh, man, you should see Romo in practice. Oh, he looks better than I've ever seen. Now I got Barry Church saying that this guy is going to be an elite quarterback. Okay, all right. Now, I disregard that. I still think Tony Romo can be an elite quarterback, regardless of what he said, because of where he was before he got injured, the type of team I believe that he can go to if he's surrounded with the right personnel. He has the skill set to be successful in this league. Not because Barry Church, because he had that skill set beforehand, and he didn't lose that by breaking a couple small bones in his back in this preseason.
Absolutely. He's already been there. He's been an elite quarterback. When you look at quarterback rating, active, the top 5, he's number 4. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers, number 1. Tony Romo's number 5. It's never been about production. It's about whether he can stay healthy or not. So if he's finally healthy and he can go to a team and stay healthy, I would take Tony Romo. I don't know what coach wouldn't take Tony Romo if you got a quarterback issue and you're looking for somebody who can put numbers.
Well, the teams that Cleveland shouldn't go after Romo. San Francisco shouldn't go after Romo. Chicago shouldn't go after Romo. Because even if they have an elite quarterback, by the time the rest of their team's good enough, right, even if Romo's fully healthy, he will have aged out of. He's not on the same track. But there are, to me, 2 teams in particular that are crazy if they are not calling the Dallas Cowboys every day. And that's the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans.
Yes. What about the New York Jets?
I don't think the Jets are in that maybe that next tier. But
I think the Jets, when you look at that team, and people thought they had such terrible quarterback play, the defense isn't that bad. They had some games they could have won. I think the Jets are in that mix. Maybe they're not going to win the championship, but you had a Tony Romo there for a year or two. I think
to your Jets point, let's go back to the 2015 season that Fitzpatrick had. Now, if they were able to duplicate that type of productivity, now Fitz wasn't there this offseason, contract dispute, they weren't going to sign him, but they got forced to sign him. So I believe that the Jets are a viable opportunity for Tony Romo getting back to elite status.
You have to see Elway trying to do it again. He said, I did it with Peyton. Bringing in another guy with that kind of defense could be very good for the Denver Broncos. All right, Rob.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Guys.
Like the purple, by the way.
Absolutely.
Detroit's fine.
There you go.
All right, coming up next, how much is Andrew Luck really worth? Colin Cowherd, he's back and joins the Opens. Last June, Andrew Luck signed a 6-year contract for $140 million with $87 million guaranteed. We're joined now by Colin Cowherd. Welcome back from vacation.
Thank you.
Mexico?
2 whole days.
Yeah.
Back on the treadmill.
Sweating out the margaritas at this point. All right, let's say that Andrew Luck was a free agent today. How much would you pay for him today on the open market?
As much as I could pay, and I would just pay whatever I had to pay. There's 2 quarterbacks in this league that have taken bad rosters to a conference championship. Aaron Rodgers this year, between the roster and the injuries, had not a very good roster. And Andrew Luck a couple years ago got beat by Tom Brady. Now, both those rosters were eventually unveiled by Atlanta and New England, but nobody else in this league has proven to me they can take a bad roster to a conference championship. I don't need you to win a Super Bowl. Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl. Can you take junk way up the ladder? Yes. Now, again, the other thing is, what else is out there? Are my options Mitch Trubisky?
Yeah, that's always a question.
I've said this before, I would pay Kirk Cousins a lot of money.
Right.
I would pay Ryan Tannehill reasonable money. So in these Romos and these Matt Ryans where people go, well, where are the big wins? Well, the alternative is Cleveland.
But you've made a point a lot of times, I think it's a smart point, that the Colts' infrastructure is terrible, right? The GM was clueless. The coach probably not great. But because the reason we're talking about this franchise tag window opens today, because the franchise tag exists, when Andrew Luck gets drafted by the Colts, he knows I basically have to play here forever.
Yeah.
Like the reason he signs that extension a year early is because he's never going to hit free agency.
That's right.
I think it's the worst thing the NFL does. Because if the franchise tag didn't exist, Luck could say, I'm betting on myself. I will play out my 5-year rookie deal. And if you don't get your bleep together, guess what? I can go play wherever the hell I want. It makes the league more interesting for fans because you don't feel screwed if you don't have a quarterback.
Right.
Like, hey, Russell Wilson's going to come up. Like, the franchise tag, I hate that it exists in the league.
Two things drive me crazy about sports. The NBA makes it virtually impossible to trade.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're Phoenix and you're looking at Golden State, 10 years and the franchise tag, because I think the league has become paralyzed by the quarterback position. Like if you don't have a quarterback, about 7 teams in the league go into the season thinking, at best, we're a wild card team.
Right. But one thing what the franchise does, and we're glad to have our franchise at FS1 here, Colin. That's why we brought him in. But what it does is, say for instance, you're Kirk Cousins and you get 20 to 25 million. What it does is it makes it better for all the other quarterbacks. It raises the franchise tag, so the average of the top 5 salaries continues to go higher.
Yeah.
It makes it better for the players. Now, you might be selfish and be like, well, one guy's not going to be able to move, but the overall good of what it does for the other 31 starting quarterbacks in the league, it's tremendous. Like, it's a tremendous benefit to have someone get paid a contract who you're better than them. That's what happened with Joe Flacco. Right? That's what all the quarterbacks love the Joe Flacco did. They're like, I can't wait. Like, I can't wait to get paid. And when you look at the economics of it and you look at the guarantees of it, all right, you can't look over, he couldn't be a free agent. He got 87 million guaranteed. Like, that's a tremendous amount of money, guys.
He got a good deal already.
And that's the way that you catch up with the other sports. Like, we're never going to be like hockey, baseball, or the NBA because the roster's too big. We almost have the same number of players in the NBA, in NFL, that we have in hockey, baseball, and basketball combined. It's just a couple hundred less players.
Yeah.
So trying to have the same type of dynamics is impossible. It's an imperfect system, but it really works, and it really works for the other quarterbacks.
Yes, I think everybody looked at Joe Flacco, every quarterback, and said, I can have a 52% completion percentage in the regular season and get $126 million. I'm in. Colin?
Thank you, brother.
We're looking forward to seeing you on the herd. Go get ready.
You guys.
Yeah.
Welcome back. All right, time for our final topic of the day. After rumors swirled yesterday that a McGregor-Mayweather fight was imminent, Connor posted this image on Twitter with the caption, I am in Las Vegas. Floyd has retired on my arrival on the throne.
Stop it.
What do you think, Nick?
I looked it up this morning. In Vegas, if they fight and it's boxing rules, Floyd is minus 2,500, meaning you risk 2,500 to win $100. If they fight and it's UFC rules, McGregor is minus 2,500. So if it is one or the other, it's not going to be a good fight. Chris, I think you and I solved this earlier when we talked about how to make this a good fight. Boxing rules with MMA gloves.
I like that.
That's interesting. Like that, now all of a sudden, Connor, you were talking about his punching power. It matters more with the smaller gloves. Floyd can't protect himself as well with the smaller gloves. If you actually want to make this a fight, you got to find a way to combine the two.
You want them to
sports a little
kickbox,
bit.
essentially.
But no kicking. Chris told me
kicking.
that McGregor
Okay.
would ruin him.
Oh, he would ruin his IT bands. He would ruin his legs. I mean, you think Floyd was
Mayweather.
short. Yeah, he would chop him down like a tree. But for me, what would be very interesting is Conor McGregor sitting on the throne, but Mike Tyson said it. Every man's got a plan until he gets hit. You know, and that boxing, hitting in boxing is totally different.
Yeah. And Floyd ain't scared of Connor. Like that's a fun tweet. Floyd, if they're gonna actually box,
He's
Floyd's
not afraid to
scared of
boxing.
Connor. Correct. He's not afraid.
Either,
of
I would like to see it whether it's boxing or MMA.
Yes. No, we
All right,
wanna
guys,
see
it's been fun. That'll do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow morning.